Pistol shrimp. Meet this, an ocean creature smaller than your finger, but armed with one of the deadliest weapons in the sea. Its oversized claw doesn't just pinch. When it snaps shut, it shoots a bubble bullet. That bubble moves at nearly 60 miles per hour and, as it collapses, it creates a shockwave hotter than the surface of the sun, over 8,000 degrees Fahrenheit. The blast stuns or kills fish instantly, and the sound is so loud it can reach 210 decibels, louder than a gunshot. Pistol shrimp live in coral reefs and sandy seabeds worldwide, often less than 2 inches long. Yet they are some of the most powerful hunters per body size on Earth. In fact, large colonies are so noisy, their collective snaps once interfered with Navy sonar during World War II. Researchers study these shrimp to understand extreme physics. Their snaps generate plasma and tiny flashes of light underwater, something once thought impossible in nature. In a way, the pistol shrimp is both predator and science experiment, reminding us that even the smallest animals can wield almost supernatural powers. Tardigrades, water bears. A microscopic, chubby-looking creature with 8 stubby legs. Cute at first glance, but this tiny survivor is virtually indestructible. Only about 0.5 millimeters long, tardigrades thrive everywhere, from deep oceans and icy mountaintops to city rooftops. Their secret is a survival trick called cryptobiosis. When conditions turn deadly, they curl up, dry out, and slow their metabolism to almost zero. In this state, they can handle extremes no other animal can. Frozen to near absolute zero, they survive. Boiled in water, they bounce back. Blasted with doses of radiation 1,000 times higher than what would kill a human, they endure. In 2007, tardigrades even survived outer space, spending days exposed to vacuum, cosmic rays, and intense UV light, yet came back to life when rehydrated. Scientists study them to unlock secrets about DNA protection, long-term space travel, and possibly human medical breakthroughs. For a creature smaller than a grain of sand, the water bear may hold the key to survival where nothing else can live. Axolotl. Nicknamed the walking fish, though it's really a salamander with a face that looks permanently smiling. Native to lakes near Mexico City, axolotls are famous for never fully growing up. They keep juvenile features like gills and a fin tail their whole lives. But their real superpower, regeneration. Axolotls can regrow almost anything. Lose a leg, it comes back. Damage the spinal cord, it repairs. They can even regenerate parts of their heart, eyes, and brain without leaving a scar. And they do this repeatedly, up to 100 times in experiments. That puts human healing to shame. While rare in the wild due to habitat loss, axolotls thrive in labs, where scientists use them to study regenerative medicine. By unlocking how axolotls turn back the clock on damaged tissue, researchers hope to one day regrow human organs or repair spinal injuries. So while it looks like a quirky pet with feathery gills, the axolotl might quietly be holding the blueprint for the future of medicine. Peregrine Falcon. This one looks like any other bird of prey, until it dives. This predator holds the title of the fastest animal on Earth. In a hunting stoop, it tucks its wings and becomes a living missile, hitting speeds of over 240 miles per hour, faster than a Formula One race car. Its eyesight is just as astonishing. Peregrines spot prey from over 2 miles away, thanks to vision up to 8 times sharper than humans. With a strike, they hit with enough force to knock birds mid-flight out of the sky instantly. Found on every continent except Antarctica, peregrine falcons live everywhere from city skyscrapers to remote cliffs. Ironically, their power nearly disappeared. By the mid-20th century, pesticides like DDT wiped out populations. But conservation and captive breeding programs turned the tide. Today, peregrines are one of the greatest success stories of wildlife recovery. So next time you see a falcon circling above, imagine, it's carrying the blueprint for speed and precision beyond any machine we've built. Mantis shrimp. If superheroes had pets, it might be this. Just 6 inches long, this colorful crustacean carries 2 record-breaking weapons, eyes and fists. First, the vision. With up to 16 types of color receptors, compared to our 3, mantis shrimp see ultraviolet, polarized light, and colors we can't even imagine. For them, the world is painted in secret wavelengths invisible to us. Then the fists. The mantis shrimp doesn't punch. It launches attacks faster than a bullet. In less than 3 milliseconds, its clubs strike with the force of a small caliber gun, cracking crab shells and even shattering aquarium glass. The punch is so fast it creates cavitation bubbles that explode seconds later, meaning each strike hits twice. Scientists are fascinated by mantis shrimp armor, studying how their clubs absorb such violence without breaking. This research could lead to better body armor, aircraft panels, even sports gear. So beneath that rainbow shell hides one of nature's toughest prizefighters, small, but capable of punching at the level of physics itself. Immortal jellyfish, Turritopsis dorni. Deep in the Mediterranean lurks a creature that cheats death, the immortal jellyfish. Barely larger than your fingernail, this fragile-looking animal has a trick that sounds like science fiction. It can reverse its own aging. When stressed, sick, or injured, instead of dying, it reverts its adult cells back to a juvenile state. Imagine a butterfly turning back into a caterpillar, then regrowing into a butterfly again. This process, called transdifferentiation, lets the jellyfish potentially reset its life cycle again and again, earning its nickname the only animal biologically immortal. Of course, it can still be eaten by predators, but left alone, it may never truly die. Scientists are eager to study its cellular secrets, hoping they might help fight human aging, degenerative diseases, or even cancer. So while it drifts unnoticed under the waves, this tiny survivor quietly holds the keys to one of humanity's oldest dreams: how to live forever. Bumblebee beetle. Now meet him. A small insect with a defense system fit for a comic book villain. When threatened, it doesn't bite, it explodes. The beetle mixes two chemicals stored in its body, hydroquinone and hydrogen peroxide. When combined in a special chamber lined with protective valves, the reaction builds pressure and blasts out a boiling hot, toxic spray. The burst can hit over 212 degrees Fahrenheit and come out in rapid, machine gun-like pulses aimed directly at predators. Even frogs and spiders that try to swallow them are forced to spit them out, literally burned from the inside. To predators, this harmless-looking bug becomes a miniature chemical cannon. Scientists have studied the beetle's defense to inspire designs in military technology, self-cleaning materials, and fuel injection systems, all based on its high-pressure spray mechanism. In short, the bumblebee beetle proves one thing. Sometimes the most dangerous weapon on Earth doesn't roar or strike. It sizzles and sprays. Lyrebird. In the forests of Australia lives the ultimate impressionist, the lyrebird. At first glance, it looks like a modest brown bird with a grand, lyre-shaped tail. But its real weapon isn't its plumage, it's its voice. Lyrebirds are the masters of mimicry. They don't just repeat other bird songs. They copy the world around them with shocking accuracy. Chainsaws, camera shutters, car alarms, barking dogs, even human laughter get stored in their repertoire. In fact, one bird has been documented imitating over 20 different species, plus every mechanical sound in its forest home. Males use this vocal talent in courtship, weaving an entire soundscape of the forest to impress females. But it also makes them cultural icons, appearing in documentaries as nature's best tricksters. What fascinates scientists is that each copied sound isn't just noise. It's a nearly perfect acoustic forgery, showing just how flexible avian vocal cords can be. In short, the lyrebird doesn't just survive by singing. It survives by becoming the forest itself. Electric eel. Now meet a creature that literally weaponizes electricity. Found in South America's rivers, this long fish-like predator generates shocks up to 600 volts, enough to stun prey, deter predators, or even knock a person off their feet. The power comes from thousands of modified muscle cells called electrocytes, stacked like tiny batteries. When triggered together, they discharge in a blast of current that travels through water. With precise control, eels use low-voltage pulses to track prey, then switch to high-voltage strikes to paralyze it. Early scientists were so amazed by this living battery that Benjamin Franklin supposedly experimented with them. And today, researchers study their electric organs to inspire biobatteries and new medical devices. So while it looks like just another slippery river giant, the electric eel proves that for some animals, survival is powered not by teeth or claws, but by raw electricity. Octopus. It's nature's master escape artist. With 3 hearts, blue blood, and no bones, it can squeeze its body through a hole barely the size of its eyeball. But what really makes it legendary is its disguise system. An octopus can change both color and skin texture in under a second, blending instantly into coral, sand, or even mimicking rocks. Special skin cells called chromatophores, iridophores, and papillae all work together to give it a living camouflage system that military designers still dream about. And then there's its intelligence. The octopus has a distributed brain system, meaning over half its neurons are in its arms. Each arm can think and solve problems independently, which is why aquariums often struggle to house them. They open jars, sneak out of tanks, and even steal from neighboring enclosures. Combined disguise, dexterity, and raw intelligence. And the octopus isn't just a sea creature, it's like an alien supermind hiding here on Earth. Mimic octopus. If the regular octopus is clever, the mimic octopus takes it to the next level. It doesn't just hide, it becomes other animals. Discovered in Indonesia in the 1990s, this species takes shape-shifting to theatrical levels. When threatened, it flattens itself and ripples across the sea floor like a poisonous flatfish. If that doesn't work, it spreads its striped arms, pretending to be a lionfish. And in a pinch, it can swim with banded arms extended, perfectly imitating a deadly sea snake. This animal literally tries on disguises like costumes, changing identities depending on the danger. Over 15 species have been recorded in its mimic repertoire, making it one of the most versatile impersonators on Earth. Biologists study the mimic octopus to understand not just camouflage, but how flexible behaviors can evolve to outsmart predators. In short, it's not only a master of disguise but the ocean's ultimate con artist. Dung beetle. Now let's roll into the world of this tiny, humble being who is guided by the stars. Best known for pushing balls of dung often larger than themselves, these beetles are also remarkable navigators. In experiments, scientists found that dung beetles are one of the only known animals to use the Milky Way for orientation. When carrying their treasure, they climb on top of it, do a little dance to lock onto the star field, then push in a straight line, avoiding competition and getting food underground quickly. They can move dung balls over 200 times their own weight, an insect equivalent of you dragging a truck across a field. And by recycling animal waste, they've had a huge ecological impact, fertilizing soil, and even inspired farming techniques. From the savannas of Africa to farmlands worldwide, something as small as a beetle shows us how survival sometimes depends not on size or muscle, but literally keeping your eyes on the stars. Platypus. It might look like a joke of evolution, a duck's bill, beaver's tail, otter's body, but it's one of the strangest and most advanced mammals alive. Native to Australia, it also lays eggs, one of only 5 mammals known to do so. Its true superpower, though, is invisible. It hunts using electroreception. Inside that unusual bill are over 40,000 electroreceptors, letting it sense the tiny electric fields given off by muscle contractions of worms, insects, and even shrimp buried in the mud. While swimming with its eyes, ears, and nose closed, the platypus still pinpounds prey with hunter-plane precision. Males add another twist, sharp ankle spurs that deliver venom painful enough to incapacitate a dog. It's one of the only venomous mammals on Earth. So while the platypus may seem like a mashup animal, it's actually a high-tech survival machine, proof that oddballs in nature often come with the most extraordinary powers. Sea cucumber. At first, he looks like a harmless squishy tube lying on the ocean floor. But don't be fooled. This slow-moving creature has bizarre superpowers. First, it can liquefy its body by altering proteins in its connective tissue. This allows it to literally ooze through cracks and then solidify again. If that isn't strange enough, when attacked, some sea cucumbers eject their own internal organs as a sticky, toxic distraction. Predators get tangled or disgusted, while the sea cucumber simply regrows its lost organs in weeks. Far from useless, sea cucumbers are ocean custodians, recycling nutrients by cleaning sediment and increasing ecosystem health. In fact, they're so crucial that overfishing them in some regions has damaged reef systems. From shape-shifting to sacrificial gut bombs, the sea cucumber shows that in nature, even the softest body can hide the weirdest defenses. Salamanders. They are already curious amphibians, but certain species push regeneration into near magic. Unlike most animals, which scar, some salamanders can fully regrow lost parts without flaws. Lose a tail? It reforms. A jaw? It regrows. Scientists have documented species capable of restoring limbs, spinal cords, parts of the heart, chunks of the brain, and even entire eyes. And this isn't a one-time trick. They can repeat the process multiple times across their life. The secret lies in stem cell-like processes. After injury, their cells revert to a flexible state, then rebuild tissue perfectly. Humans cannot do this. We heal with scars, so salamanders have become a research focus. If we can decode their regeneration toolkit, it could revolutionize medicine, spinal injury recovery, and organ repair. So, salamanders may be small forest dwellers, but hidden inside them is a power humans have dreamed of for centuries, the ability to turn damage back into wholeness.